I used to believe that love could survive anything, that if two people were truly in love, no rumor, no lie, no storm could tear them apart. But I was wrong. When Daniel slipped that ring on my finger, I thought my world had finally settled into perfection. He wasn't just kind and thoughtful, he was someone who saw through me, past my flaws, past my insecurities, and loved me anyway. For months, my family celebrated us, and even my sister, Maya, plastered on a smile and hugged me. But something about her hug that night felt wrong. Too stiff. Too fake. I brushed it off, though, because I wanted to believe my own blood would be happy for me. A month before our wedding, everything changed. Daniel's family, who had once welcomed me like a daughter, suddenly grew distant. His mother avoided my calls. His father sent short, cold replies to my texts. And Daniel himself started to act different. He didn't confront me directly, but the warmth in his eyes dimmed, like a flame being smothered. Finally, one night, he showed up at my apartment, pale and tense. "Is there something you want to tell me?" he asked, his voice strained. I frowned. About what? He slid a printed document onto my kitchen table. My heart stopped. It was a rehab intake form. My name, my date of birth. Details about alcohol dependency treatment I supposedly underwent 2 years ago. "What is this?" I whispered, my hands trembling. "You tell me," he said quietly. "My parents received this anonymously. They think I should reconsider marrying you." The room spun around me. Rehab. I'd never set foot in a rehab center in my life. I didn't even drink beyond the occasional glass of wine. "Daniel, this is fake. I swear to you, it's not real," I pleaded, tears burning my eyes. But his doubt was like a dagger. He studied me, searching for cracks in my denial. And when he left that night, he didn't kiss me goodbye. The engagement that had felt so unshakable was collapsing right in front of me, and as I sat alone, clutching those forged papers, a terrible thought clawed its way into my mind. Maya, her smile when I announced my engagement, that stiffness, that flicker of envy in her eyes, I didn't want to believe it. But deep down I knew. Maya and I had always been compared to each other. She was the pretty one, the social butterfly, the one who knew how to walk into a room and make everyone notice her. I was quieter, more bookish, more grounded. Our parents loved us both, but Maya hated that I was the one who always seemed stable, reliable. As kids, she would borrow my clothes and forget to return them, always making sure she wore them first, so they'd look worn out by the time I got them back. In high school, she told my crush that I had a weird laugh, ruining my chances. It seemed harmless then, sibling rivalry, petty jealousy. But this was different. Breaking an engagement with forged rehab records wasn't just mean, it was malicious. I thought back to the last dinner we had together. Maya had asked a lot of questions about Daniel. Where he worked, what his family thought of me, what kind of wedding we were planning. She smiled, but her questions were laced with curiosity that felt more like probing. And then it hit me. Maya didn't just want to ruin my happiness. She wanted it for herself. She always wanted what I had, whether it was clothes, attention, or affection. And now, she wanted to be the one in the spotlight with the perfect engagement, the perfect fiancé, the perfect fairy tale. I cried myself to sleep that night. Not just because my engagement was crumbling, but because my own sister had betrayed me in the cruelest way possible. But by morning, something inside me had shifted. The tears dried. The despair hardened into resolve. If Maya thought she could take my happiness away without consequence, she was wrong. She had poisoned my life with envy for too long. Now, I was going to show her what it felt like to choke on her own lies. I knew confronting her directly would get me nowhere. Maya was skilled at playing the victim, twisting words, and crying her way out of accountability. No, if I wanted to take her down, I needed proof. The so-called rehab center listed on the fake documents was real, so I called them. At first, they refused to give me any information, citing confidentiality. But when I explained the situation and faxed them a copy of the forged document, the manager finally called me back. "Miss, we can confirm that we have no record of you ever being a patient here. she said firmly. And I can also confirm that this document is fake. Whoever made it used our letterhead without authorization. My chest tightened with both relief and rage. Can you tell me if someone requested information about me? I asked. There was a pause. Then, we do have a log of an email request, actually. The person claimed to be your sister, saying she needed verification for insurance purposes. But the email seemed odd, so we didn't respond. My blood boiled. There it was, Maya's fingerprints. Over the next week, I dug deeper. With the help of a tech-savvy friend, I traced the IP address from the email. It matched Maya's workplace. I collected everything, screenshots, email headers, verification from the rehab center. Each piece of evidence was like a weapon, sharp and undeniable. And then fate delivered the perfect stage for my revenge. Maya announced her engagement. Of course, it was extravagant. A glamorous venue, expensive decorations, a guest list full of family friends and influencers. She wanted everyone to see her moment. Good, I thought. Let them all see. I RSVP'd, yes, with a polite smile. Maya had no idea I was coming armed with the truth that would shatter her carefully built kingdom of lies. The night of Maya's engagement party was a blur of flashing lights, music, and clinking champagne glasses. She wore a glittering gown that made her look like a princess. Her fiancé beamed at her, utterly oblivious to the venom that lay beneath her smile. I stayed in the shadows at first, mingling, sipping my drink, waiting. My heart thudded in my chest, but I wasn't afraid anymore. I was ready. When the time came for speeches, Maya stood at the center of the room, thanking everyone for coming. Her voice dripped with false sweetness as she talked about love and family. I couldn't hold it in any longer. Funny you should mention family, I said loudly, stepping forward. The room went silent. Dozens of eyes turned to me. Maya froze, her smile faltering. What are you doing here? She hissed through clenched teeth. Oh, just celebrating your big night, I said smoothly. But before we all toast to you, I think there's something everyone should know. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I pulled out the folder I'd brought. The forged rehab documents, the rehab center's statement, the email records. This, I said, holding up the forged paper, is what my dear sister used to break my engagement. She faked rehab records and sent them to my fiance's family. She wanted to ruin me, and she almost succeeded. The room erupted in whispers, shocked murmurs spreading like wildfire. Maya's face drained of color. That's not true, she screamed. She's lying. I smiled coldly. Really? Because the rehab center confirmed it was fake. And I have the email you sent, Maya. From your work computer. I handed the evidence to her fiancé, who stared at it, stunned. Maya, is this true? He asked, his voice shaking. Her eyes darted wildly. She opened her mouth, but no excuse came out. For once, her lies failed her. The silence that followed was deafening. Her fiancé's family looked horrified. Guests whispered, some even pulling out their phones to record. Maya's perfect image shattered in seconds, her humiliation on full display. I looked at her one last time, my voice steady. You wanted to destroy my happiness, Maya. But tonight, you destroyed yourself. With that, I turned and walked out, leaving her world in ruins. Epilogue. Daniel eventually came back, apologizing, admitting he should have trusted me. But by then, I had learned something important. I didn't need him, or anyone, to validate me. What Maya tried to take from me, she ended up losing herself. Her engagement dissolved within weeks, her reputation in tatters. And me. I walked away free, stronger, and finally at peace. Because betrayal hurts, but revenge, served cold, in front of everyone who matters, tastes like justice.